Hi, nobodies. So today was a good day, for the most part. Um, had a couple of letdowns today, a couple of surprises, and a couple of ill-timed things. So let's start off with the beginning of my day. I wanted to do something. Didn't happen. Disappointed. So well, I'll be good later today. So my daughter had her first therapy session with her new therapist, and it was a family session. So we had to go. I said, hey, let's leave early because I need to stop by the post office and I need to stop by the store because I want some Cajun dill gator taters. you know, that's what I want. So we get to Dollar General, and just as we're like pulling in, the phone rings, and it's my friend Brian. And they, this instantly upsets David. He tries to hold it in, but it upsets him when I get a personal call. And so I went into the store. No Cajun dill gator taters. Sucks to be me, I thought. But I was still having a fairly decent conversation. Even though, like, when I'm in a store, I don't really like talking on the phone because people eavesdrop. Even if you're not saying anything wrong, it's just the fact that people are paying attention. So you don't want to be loud. You don't want to say anything, and because they're bored. We all do it. When somebody's on the phone, you notice. So I don't really like talking on the phone. Get off the phone, drive into the store, tense conversation, get to therapy, have a great session. There's stuff going on in our household that we let our daughter know wasn't going to change her life. This is an adult thing, and we're doing everything in our power to ensure that her life stays as stable as possible. Because, see, I shook the snow globe. I shook up my snow globe. And I don't regret that. I think that it's a solid decision. Um, I think it had to be done. But that doesn't mean that everybody understands it. And that doesn't mean that everybody's cool with it. But I came clean. I let people know what I was feeling and how long I'd been feeling it, and the decision I had come to. And I I totally get their standpoint on things. I get what their issues are. And they get, well, David gets what my issues are. My 14-year-old doesn't quite understand. My 7-year-old was told nothing changes for you, and that was good enough for him. But my 14-year-old's worried. She still hasn't looked at like perks. She hasn't figured out perks to the situation. I don't think she's going to get too far, but me, when I was her age, I would have had all kinds of things figured out. Because, when you're 14, you think about you. Anyway, we're just about done with therapy, and I thought it was really interesting that we were supposed to write 4 things that we admire about Isabel or that we love about Isabel. And me and her dad both had the same list. We didn't necessarily have it in the same order, but we had the same list. It took me longer to write mine because I wanted to write it out. Had to get all detailed a bit. But it was neat that we saw the same thing, so it's like, so I looked at her and I said, so that at least 2 people in this world agree. These are the 4 things that we picked out best. Your best attributes. So you can't say I'm stupid because two people have said she's smart. You can't prove you're stupid. Sorry, dear. Looks like you're not. Because we totally meant it. I mean, we could have picked other stuff to say. David said strong-willed, and I said strong won't back down from a challenge. Which is kind of a double-edged sword on that. But we had a good session, but the last minute of it, the last little bit of it, my phone rang. So I sat there and I saw it ringing, and I was so conflicted because I was like, I really want to answer this call. I really want to answer this call. But we're in therapy, So I was like, this will look so bad. But I answered it anyway. And I'm, to those 3 people in therapy, that was the wrong move, I'm sure. But to me, I had to answer it. I had to. I couldn't just let it go to voicemail. I could not. So I answered it. And then I realized my folly that although I get to talk to this person, I don't get to devote 100% because it was kind of loud outside. And then they came out and we had to load up in the car. I couldn't very well say, hey, y'all just sit and wait for me. I couldn't do that to them. So then we're in the car and he's talking to me and I can't really say anything because I've got eavesdroppers and David's already mad. So I don't want to disrespect them. So I was having to be, I don't like it when people listen in on phone conversations. And I mean, you can't help it when you're in the car with somebody or in the room with somebody that they're going to listen. I mean, it just is what it is. So we got home, everything's cool and all that. I mean, it's like I said last night, sometimes a problem isn't your problem. It's everybody else's problem, their judgment of the issue. So I've already stated my case. And it's not my problem if people are upset because I've already decided. So that's something that they've got to get over or choose to say, get out of my life. Go away. Which they've promised me they won't do. So that's a good thing. Afternoon's been fun. I had awesome pizza. Like I had Pizza Hut pizza. I miss Pizza Inn pizza though. They had the best. But Pizza Hut's pretty good. I just wish they'd go back to doing the pretzel crust. I love that shit. But I think this therapist is going to work out pretty well for Isabel. Therapists are hit and miss. I mean, you don't know if they're insightful, if they can capture your child's interest, do they ask the right questions? Because the right questions are different for everybody. I mean, can they work their way into that person's head? I mean, you got to be willing to let them, for one. But even if you're unwilling, which is often the case with kids on certain occasions, Isabel during family sessions, for instance, it's important that they have to work harder for it because you've got a kid that's basically not wanting to be in that room with their parents. And if they want to talk about something, they don't want to talk about it in front of their parents. And we offered to walk out of the room, but she kept saying, it's a family session. It's a family session. And I was like, hey, if you need to talk about this, you know, I try to be really supportive of her, to let her know that she can tell me anything and I am not going to lay into her about it. I don't care if she does the dumbest thing possible, which doesn't come to mind, the dumbest thing possible. But I'm going to back her. If she gets in trouble, I may not be able to bail her out, but I'm going to show up for visitation. I'm going to make sure she's got what she needs. I'm going to tell her, play the psycho card. Of course, I don't know. Psych wards are worse than jail. But anyway, that was my day in a nutshell. I'm going to go now. Have a nice night.